Okay, good evening, everybody. Up from everywhere that you're listening from me from. So tonight we'll be talking about the MACD indicator. We'll be going through it again and the best way to use it for those of us. Can everybody hear me? Please, if you can hear me, just type one in the chat box. Okay. Right. Tonight we'll be talking about the MACD indicator and how we can use the MACD efficiently in the market. And we'll also be describing and also be breaking down all the components of the MACD indicators on our RoyalQ platform, picking any of our crypto pairs that we are trading. So tonight I'll make the class very interactive. So I would also, before we start, if any of us in the house have any coin in mind that we want to use for the first example, so before I will be then using that to for our explanation, and then there will be room for like questions if we have any question regarding. So if anybody in your house has any coin in mind, you can just type in the chat box so we can use that as an example. And I'll be picking the first person, the first. If anybody has like any coin in mind that we can use for tonight's presentation, for tonight's Zoom, you can just type. So I'll be sharing my screen already. We'll be using the RoyalQ platform to make our so you can just type in the chat box while I just share my screen. So here we are. If you have any coin in mind, so up till now I don't see anything in the chat box, but if there isn't any, we'll just pick a random pair for the presentation. So do anybody has any coin in mind? If nobody has any random pairs in mind, we'll just pick any one and then we'll break down the MACD indicator and how we can use it effectively to pick trades. So now I have two interesting pairs here that I'm actually looking at right now. For example, Atom, a very good pair, and it's actually even doing 10.20%. And we also have Avex, a very good pair. And yeah, we can pick either of these if we don't have anybody like indicating to us to say, okay, this is the pair. Oh, yeah, we have the first pair seeing Mr. Razak Kolapo, said Soul, one of my favorite pair. And then we also have Mr. Moritala, one of our great leader in the house, also that says BNB. And then we also have another person who says Soul, Mr. Razak always. And yeah, I think we'll just go for Soul, which is the first person. And then maybe probably then we go with BNB as second. So yeah, let's go with Soul, which is Solana. So Soul, oh, Soul is actually not doing bad this evening. And then yeah, uh, let's talk about the MACD indicator, which is the topic for tonight. So we can see from here, these are MACD for the people who was not in the Zoom meeting the last time when we broke down the MACD indicator. So here today again, I'll be explaining the MACD before we dive into how we can actually use the MACD and how it can actually help us help us in our trading, right? When we are trading. So basically, the MACD indicator is composed of the exponential moving averages, which which are indicated here. So we have let me use this marker and use a very clear line. Let's use this. Okay. Yeah. So we have our exponential moving averages, which are plotted on our charts. So we know that we have a tool that we use as traders, which is TradingView and other platform as well. But here on RoyalQ, our chart also is integrated in it, which means we can do our chartings on RoyalQ, but we are having a little bit of like limitations when it comes to flexibility on how we can use these tools. But then what we have here on RoyalQ is actually sufficient for us to pick a trade and execute successfully. So here on Sol, we can see the price of Sol actually is around 188,000 naira, 431 naira, and in USD, 122 USD and 74 cents. And we can also see our Instagram plotted on the chart, which our Instagram will be uh, these bars here. Our Instagrams are actually those bars that we see here, which are represented in green, and also these bars here, which are represented in red. So these bars are one of the components that is in the MACD indicator, and we also have these two lines, the yellow and the blue lines, which are indicating the exponential moving averages and then their periods, right? So in a general perspective, what you would always see is on the MACD indicator would always be the here on the RoyalQ platform, we can see from here, I'll actually be circling that for us. From here that we have our 12-day exponential moving averages, the 26-day moving averages, exponential moving averages, and then we have the 9-day exponential moving averages. And then our exponential moving averages, what are they actually? So let's go deep dive into this again, like I break it down piece by piece so that we know, okay, what are actually like moving averages. So like we know, uh, mathematically, moving averages are like they are the average in price of any asset. So now, if the asset we are talking about tonight is RoyalQ, and the price of I say RoyalQ, Solana, and the price of Solana tonight is 122 USD 74 cents, and then in the last 12 26 and 9 days, the prices actually have been fluctuating, like we know, like any asset in the market, in our case, cryptocurrency. And we have other markets as well, like the Forex market, like the stock market, and also in these all other markets that we know. So we know the prices of an asset. So when we are talking about the average price of an asset, this is the price in which market has been fluctuating, the average price that market has been doing over those period of days. When we see 12-day moving average, then we see the average price of an asset in 12 days. And then this so prices have been moving and have been averaging on those in that range. So now our moving average now is now plotted across 12 days. So now we have the 12 days MA, which is the moving average. Then we see now there's a little bit of difference between exponential moving average and moving average, but they are still the same thing, right? So, but what the key concept that we want to like know is that our moving average is actually the price range between 12 days. So now we say the average price of an asset in 12 days. So now on our MACD, we know that we have 12 days present, and then we have price range average of the price in 26 days. So now the average price of this asset, Solana, in this case, in 26 days. And then we also have the 9 days. So how does this even matter to us that we are traders? It matters because why? If you were to be able to get these numbers correctly, and you know what is the average price of an asset in the market, now you be able to like make better decisions in the market. Because why? If you know the prices, the average price an asset has been doing for over 12 days, now you know, okay, which is the best price for me to buy, which is the cheapest. So you are going for the discounted price. So now MACD actually now plots this 3 different average days, which is the 12 days, 26 days, and the 9 days. And then they move differently, right? They move based on, because what the MACD actually does as an indicator is actually indicates to us the momentum in price. So now we know that, okay, when there is an upward momentum, it's always indicated in this green, right? The greener part here, which I still have indicated here. And then when there is a down momentum, it's represented with the like the um, histogram in red. So now, when we also have the golden cross, which is the signal lines, right? So when we see that there's a cross, both. Now, before we even dive into like um, how we generate the signal using the MACD, we want to know what it's composed of, right? We want to know, okay, what was this green line actually doing? What's the red Instagram? What is it representing, and all of it. So if we have any question based on the explanation and the component of MACD that I just explained, you can type in the chat box and just indicate, so we can just go through it together. So if there is no question regarding the components, uh, then we move ahead and then we go deep dive on how we can actually use the indicators. So this is like for generally for everybody, and also an advantage for the people who are joining for the first time, for the indicator, right, which is the MACD. So the MACD here, we know that when there is an upward move, in this case on Solana, we can see there's a little bit of momentum. But another thing we want to know is that the higher this, there is this uh, green side here, when these bars are actually very high, when they are high and they are similar to our volume. The volume indicator also is a nice indicator that we can use in the market. When there is a comment in these bars, these green bars, there's huge momentum in the market, which means there's high volatility in the market in that currency. In fact, in this case, we can see Solana doing like 6%. For Solana to be doing 6%, it's actually great. So now since we see that before we had the cross, right? Already. We had the cross, and we see that after the cross, Solana actually did 6%. So the cross happened around here. And then there was a little bit of up momentum. And now, if it should cross again back downward from here, okay, if there should be another cross downward, so that is the best time that if we have then set these on our RoyalQ, we know that RoyalQ now will automatically uh, open and close the trade for us, and then it close it in profits. So now let's go into the settings. So how we can actually use the MACD. Then we click on the MACD strategy. Don't remind me again, I understand. Then we choose a strategy, right? If you have a strategy set, you choose a strategy. You can as well use these default settings. So I know that we already know how to choose a strategy. So we have the Smart Create, which is the default settings. and then we have the manual one, and then we can choose the settings in which we've set it before. But here in this case, we go with these settings that I have here, and then you scroll down and you click on this advanced settings, and then you scroll down again, and then you pick the strategy period. Here we have the cycle. You can choose between cycle and one shot. So I'll leave mine already as it is on the cycle. You confirm, and then you go for the first position trigger condition. And then we have the RSI, we have the MACD, we have the KDJ. In this case, we want to pick the MACD because we are using the MACD. If you remember, I told you that we have the 12-day moving averages, we have the 26 and the 9 days here, which is default. Then you click confirm, and then you want to also like you see the MACD trigger condition, which is the golden cross. They actually wrote it here because it's the right term to use as regard to the trigger condition. Then you click on this arrow here, and then we have the greater than, we have the less than, and we have the neutral zero, which is in the center. So since our aim as traders, and we are using RoyalQ, instead of buying low and selling high so as to maximize our profit in the market, we want to always buy low. So we want to go for the lesser than, so buying below when the market drops. So you don't want to buy using the greater than aspect. You will be actually buying at the we use a term like a trading jargons for this in the trading world. We say you are buying the premium price, but also if you are buying below, you can also say you are buying at a discounted price. That actually, as a trader or as a person, when you go to the market, you want to buy something as a discount price, the best discount price you want to get. So as to make sure that okay, if your aim was to like, okay, I go there so I can buy, so I can resell, you want to buy something very cheap so you can sell at in profit actually. So you pick this as your settings. So the default set time frame on this MACD indicator is 15 minutes. You can see, and then you have the margin call. Turn up always the margin call, and then yeah, so we have this price range as well that you can set, but it's optional. It's up to you if you want to set like a price range for Solana here. So if you want to set the price range, actually, you could decide since we have Solana right now, the current price, which is around 122, you could say, okay, I want to set a range of around $200, and then the down range should be around probably $100 since the price is still within around $122. But as you know, it's really up to you, it's personal. So it's actually optional, like you can see from here. So you just click save, and then your trade, you can then start your trade. And when you start the trade, it will be waiting for the price to like trigger the trigger condition. So for here, since I don't want to take this trade, I want to be starting the trade. But then this is how you set up your MACD, and then go to the settings to place it, to place a trade, a successful trade. So we talked about the MACD indicators and how we can use it for this particular pair, which is Solana. And then we have our leader also who said BNB. So let's go for BNB and actually see what BNB is doing at the moment. So BNB. Oh, okay, BNB. We have BNB doing around so BNB also is like showing an upward momentum. There was a little cross. There's not that much of upward momentum, but absolutely, yeah, there's not that much movement upward. But if we see here, when the price actually dropped from this histogram that we can see from here, from the example I was giving to you before, when BNB actually dropped here, you can see the momentum is actually high from here. So look at right now from here, we can see what I was referring to. So when the price actually dropped, it dropped to around 584 USD. you can see, yeah, like Solana, I mean Solana, BNB actually was really up. So when it dropped really downward. But if you had your setting in place, I trust me, you would have bought all these down movements, the discounted price. And then if you were on this trade, by now, when then it did the upward move, this little momentum as well, back to around 599, close to 600 USD, you would have made some profits and a whole lot of profit as well if you were on this trade. So if you were here when it did this cross around here, so we can see that it did this cross and now it's actually moving. It's actually showing us a down move again. Like in the market, we know that prices don't just move in a direct line. It moves in waves, and then this is just a retracement. Definitely, we'll see BNB do like upward move. So this is just a pullback leg, and we'll see it do like more numbers. So if anybody has questions as regards to the MACD that we are using, or we have like other pairs in mind that we want us to like to talk about tonight, you can actually use the. Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of questions here. Question, please relate those three numbers to 122.32. Uh, Joe Felix, please can you unmute your mic and ask the question, or just probably I don't get the question. You said I should relate the three numbers to 122.32. Which pair are you referring to, please? Is it this should probably be Solana, but I don't know, I don't understand what you mean by relating those three numbers. Please slowly also is the range strategy. Use the range the strategy of the MACD only. Please, if anybody has a question, you can just kindly unmute and ask the question if you want. Is it good to dive in trade when it reaches the cross or manual trade? Yeah, it's actually advisable because when it's at its peak, right? You can dive in it if you got the trade from there. You don't actually necessarily like wait for it, but it's best if you wait for the trigger, right? Because why? If you set it, it picks automatically. But then, if you saw the trade late and you want to get in, it's actually also a great trade. If you know it's a great trade for you, you can get in it and just maybe you make some little pips and then you go points in this case because we are trading cryptocurrency. So and then you close the trade and make your profit. I really need to understand what 12, 26, and 9 represent. So yeah, Joe Felix, 12, 26, 9, they are representing the moving, like the average price of any asset. In this case, we made example with Solana and we made example also with BNB. So let me go back to the chart so I can show you something here. We made example with Solana. So I'll go back to Solana. I think you are referring to Solana. So let's go back to Solana and I'll show you. So here you can see that the price here we are having is 122 USD and 91 cents current price, market price. So now you want to calculate so the average price that market has been doing in the last 12 days, right? Which is the moving average. Like the market is not like the price is not like fixed. Like it's not something that is rigid, that's not like that is not moving. You know that market is moving. Like as we are even talking right now, you can see the price fluctuating. So now you want to calculate now and divide. Like you calculate, okay, market have been fluctuating in different price. For example, 130. Now let's do the calculation, right? Price did at around 1 p.m. $130. At 2 p.m. it did 150, for example, right? and at around 3 p.m. it did 160 USD, and then now it's back to 120 22. So now you want to pick these numbers now. For example, you pick 10 and then divide, and then you get the average price of that asset. So, but then this line that you are seeing here, this line that you are seeing here, these two lines, right, are representing the averages, the average price across, like, for 12 days. It's now plotted on it on the chart for 12 days now, and then divided, and then they got the what's it called, the average of that price in 12 days, which is representing our 12 days EMA, exponential moving average. And then we also have the 26 days also now plotted on our chart. So now the price now is represented. So we have three of them represented. We have the 12 days, we have the 26 days, and then we have the 9 days. But then now, the higher the days, the slower the averages now are moving on our chart. So now, depending on the time frame, so now uh we are on 15 minutes time frame, and then here we are having the 12 days moving our exponential moving average, and we are having the 26 EMA exponential moving average, and then we are having the 9 days exponential moving averages. So now this line that you see that is moving on our Instagram here, this same line, for example, let me show you. These two lines you're seeing, the orange and the blue lines, right? And now, because we are using the MACD, this is only the line that you will get on this is only the lines that you will get which are representing it, right? Because the indicator we are treating is MACD. It has these two lines, right? But then regardless, we have our moving exponential moving averages plotted on it, right? So now these two lines, what are they? What are they there for? They are there so that they can give us the signal lines. So what are the signal lines? The golden cross. When we have a cross, when the orange line is crossing the blue lines from beneath, that is an uptrend for you, an upward momentum in price, right? But then we have all of these plotted in MACD, the moving averages, right? Which is a component of the indicator that we are talking about tonight. So I hope I've been able to like explain this to you what the 12 days moving exponential moving averages and the 26-day moving averages and the 9 days moving averages are representing. And like as I was telling you, the 12 days, the 26, the 9, you know that 9 days, if prices is ranging and giving an average in 9 days, it will be moving slower. It will be moving faster using our lines that are representing the averages, right? The higher the days, the slower the lines. So now, in this case, the 9 days is moving faster than the 12. The 12 is moving under faster than the 26. So I hope I've been able to like answer your question. Oh, I'm really glad that I did. I was able to like break that down to you. If there's any other question, please you can just unmute or you just type the message, please. Ah, yes, Mr. Prince Ernest. You're raising
Yeah,
up your hand. You can actually unmute. Yeah.
good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. My question is, uh, top
Yeah, we
of
can hear.
the zero, yes. If the golden clock at the zero line at the top, that is above, is it a
Yeah.
good entry? Is it a good entry for to
Mm,
win the
It's
chart?
it, it's not a good entry. It's not advisable if you see the price is actually above the line, but it doesn't mean that you can't take the trade. But if you take the trade, then you might even witness like a wait in like a floating loss, which you can wait. Then you have to wait a whole lot of time. But it's not like we are trading the spot market. We're using RoyalQ, so you just experience the waiting time. So, but then to break down your question really down, so do you want to buy an asset when it's cheap, or you want to buy it when it's really like expensive? I think what we want to do is buy when the price is really like cheap. So you want to buy something when it's discount, when there's discount in it. So buying above doesn't really make sense, because why, you will be buying when the asset is actually like, when people who bought below, right? When the price was cheap, when they are selling above, now you are buying. So it doesn't make sense. Then you have to wait. That price is really like, it's as if you are like doing the opposite stuff. You are doing the contrary. So the aim is actually to like, but if you believe so well in the asset and you are trading and you feel like maybe to try the price you are buying at is cheap, you can go for it. So I hope I've been able to like answer your question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So if anybody has any other question, you can type in the chat box, or you can just unmute and ask. If there is no other question, I'll be leaving the let's explain golden cross uh using the colors. Okay, yeah, okay. The golden cross. So we see here default on RoyalQ. Who was the person who asked, so that I can I just okay, talks over. Okay, you can see the golden cross using the colors. It's very simple, right? It's not that complicated. You can see from here, we have the histogram, which is representing the momentum in price. The red here representing the downward momentum, and the green here representing the downward momentum, right? And yeah, the colors that you were saying, and uh, this uh, red histogram that is facing downward here is representing the lower momentum, and the green ones are printing upward. The bars are representing the upward momentum. But then, coming back to your questions, the golden cross actually happened here at around here. You can see where the orange line was crossing the blue, and then it started to create like upward bars, the green bars that you're seeing here, right? And then the this is the signal line, right? The signal line now is where actually the cross actually happens, right? So when you see um, the golden cross crossing the blue line, and the two of this line, when before the cross actually happens, there's always like a divergence in the two lines, right? Which means they are diverging from each other. Like there will be like an open up in these lines. I don't have a perfect example to show you when there's actually like uh, a change in price, and then when they are actually diverging. But before this line, you will see them like cross each other. The two lines will be diverging from each other, which means they will be widening up. You will see this the orange line actually crossing above, and then they will be diverging from each other, and then you will see them just moving upward. And then you also see the next thing you will see is this moving price, this momentum, right? And then here in the market, as an analyst, if you know how to analyze, here is an uptrend, right? We talked about this couple of days. Then I believe in the future classes we'll be talking about, we'll be going over these things again, right? To teach you about how you can indicate like chart patterns, how you can draw your trend lines, how you can do all of this. We actually spoke about this. We have videos that explains this, break everything down. So your question, and I believe I was able to like answer your question as well as regard to using the colors to explain the cross. So a cross happens around here, and you can see the orange color once it crosses the blue one, and then the two of them are diverging from each other, then you start also see like an increase in these uh histograms here, which is actually representing momentum in price, which is upward, like you can call it also like a trend in the market. So, but what you would see use to identify trend in the market are your candlestick charts, like these candlesticks here. But then this indicator helps you to like identify the trend immediately to know where the market is heading and other indicators that we have. But this MACD that we are using, MACD is actually one of the great indicators that you can use in the market, as ROSI also is great, MA is great, Bollinger Bands is great, but all these things you can use them well if you know how to like really analyze. And this is why I will always recommend to you to go back to the previous videos that we did and you go through them, and then you can use, because you cannot not actually use only indicators to like make decisions in the market. But then if you plot and then if you study all these components, then you come to a better decisions. So now the decision that you now make and the strategy that you get out of that, then you instruct your robot with your RoyalQ robot, and then you don't have to now think about being on the chart all the day. So now you can go ahead and do all your other things, knowing that RoyalQ now do the rest job for you. So I hope I was able to like answer your question, Mr. Tox Oba. So if there's any other question as well, please, you can ask. If there, okay, I'm really glad that I was able to like answer your question. So if there's no other question, I will just pass the class to our other leaders in the house, Leader Ocean, Leader George, and our other leaders as well in the houses. So I'll pass the class presentation to Leader Ocean or Leader George, please, to like close tonight's class. Leader Ocean, please, are you there? Or Leader George, please, can you hear me?
All right, thank you so much, with Abiola. That's an amazing one. Mm, okay, so we don't have any other question. We do not have any other question. All right, so thank you so much to all the co-hosts in the house, and thank you so much to everyone that came out. Please, I would like to urge us to try as much as possible to watch the recordings, because there's so much you can grab in like an hour Zoom meeting. So please let us try to watch the recordings, to refresh what you have learned, and make sure that you are practicing, because it's not just by coming to Zoom. Make sure that you're practicing, make sure that you're putting it into practice. Thank you so much, everybody. Tomorrow, I don't know if we have Zoom tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is Saturday. But yeah, we have Zoom every day. If there will be Zoom, we'll send out the Zoom link as quick as possible. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and have an amazing one. The recordings will be appreciated. Yeah. By tonight or tomorrow, we'll have the recordings sent out. It will be posted on the group on our YouTube channel, so that you can rewatch it. So thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing night, and bye. Good
Bye,
night, everybody.
everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night, Leader Shah. Good night, everybody. Good night, Leader George.
Good night, leadership.
Good night,
Good
Dabiola. Thank you
night.
so much.
Good night.